happening, YouTube? We got the new puppy here. I got her in her crate so I can keep her still. I'll let her out so y'all can see her real personality here in a second. Um, but yeah, I don't have a name for her yet. She's 6 weeks old. She's super high energy. She is related heavily to the puppies outside. The difference there is that there's no Soma, there's no Moon in her. In here, there's a little bit of American Sentinel. Um, for those of you who know what that dog, for those of you who don't know what that dog is, go check it out. But the rest of what's in there is related to Apollo. It's basically Apollo. It's Apollo's mom and Apollo's dad on the dam and the sire side where they should be. And the reason for doing this, the reason for getting this puppy is y'all know I loved Apollo. She was an incredible dog, and so down the line, if this puppy turns out to be really good, down the line I could do an outcross through this puppy without having to go too far out. The outcross here would be the American Sentinel, um, and then everything else will kind of click up with what I already have going, except for stuff, except for anything that I might do with Moon, and I'll figure out a way to kind of incorporate that. I actually have a good plan for how I'm gonna how I'm gonna incorporate that into here too. But this is her. She doesn't have a name yet. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want to leave some names in the comments, let me know. But what I'm gonna show y'all today is one of the things that I like to do when I first get a puppy, especially one that's this young or one that I plan on keeping indoors. So you all know my other puppies, they spent most of they kind of grew up outside, and they're great crate trained puppies too, but they kind of learned it from being outside at an early age. This dog hasn't had any of that kind of exposure just yet, and she probably won't get any here. She'll be outside, as she gets older, but she won't live outside like the other dogs do. So I have to crate train her. I got her last night and she was in the crate, and I slept horribly because she did good for 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. Then I'd have to get her calm and quiet again. And it's just one of the things that happens when you get a new puppy. I like to get puppies on weekends when I don't have to work so that I can spend that first night sleeping with the puppy. No, and getting it ready for crate training. But she's moving right now. Okay, so before I get into that, I just want to say, okay, things you need when you first get a puppy, especially if you're going to have it indoors. A leash. A collar is not super important, but for most people, if you're going to have a leash, you probably want to have a collar and a crate. The same philosophy I'm going to apply to crate training, I apply to tethering. Your leash is not just for walking your dogs. There are so many more uses for that leash as it pertains to keeping your dog tamed, keeping your dog trained. Um, what I would do is I would take the leash, I would tie it around maybe the leg of the table or the chair or something. And while I'm out here working or while I'm out here watching TV or just don't want to be active with the puppy, then the puppy can't go anywhere, right? And that helps in potty training because I can see what the puppy's doing at all times. When the puppy gets ready to go down to the potty, I can pick her up, take her outside. She eventually understands that. I can eventually walk her to the door before she does it, and then she eventually, quicker than you can imagine, she started to become housebroken with very little effort. So if you have a new puppy, get you a leash, practice tether training. Even when my dogs are just running around the house, I have a leash on them. So by the time they get ready to go for walks, they're pretty much comfortable having the leash on. They just have to learn to follow me and not pull away, and which takes a walk or two, and then you're in good shape. So again, your leash is more than for just walking your dog. Practice tether training and practice having that leash on the puppy as it grows up in the house, so it gets used to having that leash on there. But here we go. This is how I begin crate training. What I'll do is I'll put the puppy into the crate, and you see she went through this last night, so she kind of understands that she's not getting out. But what I'll do is I'll put the puppy in the crate with the door open. I don't close the door. Come here. Hey, come here, puppy. Come on. Come on, puppy. Come here. Good girl. Good girl. And so I'm gonna get her excited. She sees the doors open, and I'm gonna not let her come out. I'm gonna not let her come out. I'm gonna make her be comfortable with chilling in there with the door open. No. And right now, there's a lot of pressure. She's putting a lot of pressure on my hand. No, no, no. And she doesn't know anything. So everything that I'm doing now, I'm gonna have to be consistent with. You hear me saying no? No will be her negative marker for everything. So that's another thing that this does. It's teaching her her first negative marker. Um, so, um, yeah. And once she calms down, I'll kind of slowly remove my hand. No. And so here, no, no, no. And I'm gonna slowly open it as she calms down, and I'm not gonna let her come out still. No, 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 no. Again, she's getting the negative marker, and she's gonna learn what I want her to do. Doors open. No, no. And so the negative marker came long before she got to the door that time. Because now, once I see her approach the door, I want to give her that negative marker early, so she understands that well, I don't go into that door. That way, I can increase the the amount of space where she feels comfortable being away from the door. So right now, she only feels comfortable being this far away from the door. She opens it, she moves back, I open it some, and if she moves forward, I'm going to give her the negative marker. And what I want to see is her just be comfortable back there with the door open. So now I'm not going to give her like any encouragement to come to the door. I just did that the last time to kind of, no, no, no. As you see, this time I don't have the door. I didn't, no. I'm not closing the door as much as I was the first few times I had to do this. No, no. Because again, I want her to understand the marker. No, no, no. See? And just like that, she has already started to understand that, okay, he says no, I don't go out of here. And her sitting down lets me know that she is ready to submit to that idea. Probably not for too long, probably not for longer than 30 seconds or a minute or something, but this is how this is how I start to introduce crate training. And by maybe tomorrow night she'll be able to sleep in the crate through the night. That's not saying that she won't pee or anything in there. She's still a puppy. She's still a very young puppy, and I have to kind of understand her body and her schedule before I can start. I have to start understanding her body and get her on a good schedule before I can really start. No, no, no. Before I can start potty training her. Awesome. That's awesome right there. That's what I want to see right there. But she will be able to go in here and be okay with it, not be screaming, not be trying to bite her way out, not trying to beat the cage down. And that is going to be great. She, like I said, she's only about 6 weeks. By the time she is 9 weeks, if she's sleeping in the cage through the night or going in the cage on her own, I mean that is that's miles ahead of where most 9 week old puppies are, and that sets us up for a good future as far as housebreaking this year. Like I said, I plan on making this my indoor dog. Moon's getting a little bit older. This dog shouldn't be super big. It should be a little bit bigger than Moon, but she'll be indoors, and she'll get a different type of training. So y'all will see like different videos for her. But this is her first video. Like I said, if you think of some names, hit me. Put them in the comments. She does not have a name yet. Hopefully she will by the time y'all see her again in the next video. But this is her introduction to crate training.